Woo! Good morning, YouTube. It is cold today. Minus 32 Celsius outside and only plus 11 inside. That's a little bit more the way January is around here. We got the big heater going. Hopefully we can warm it up a bit more in here. And then we got to get back to this guy. There it is. I got him flipped up on his top, upside down, downside up. And so now I'm going to get that flywheel housing off of there because it's just going to be in my way. And I'm going to bolt the oil pan on. And once I have the oil pan completely torqued up and I'm happy with that, then I'm going to take that front mount off of there and I'm going to tape this block up and paint it. Now I know I'm doing things in a very weird, strange order, and I'll explain that. The reason I'm doing it is twofold. For one, that engine is crazy heavy. This is Forky with my cherry picker on it that I use for installing engines like that. That thing is really, really heavy duty. It's built very solid, but I have to have it extended quite a bit out of there in order to reach far enough in to drop that motor down. Look how much space there is here. The front of the motor sits way over here, so I need a lot of extension to lift the motor in the middle and get it forked in there. Like, look how far away that transmission is. So that's a bit of a problem, because if I extend that thing out all the way where it's nicely enough to reach that motor in there, it just isn't strong enough. It starts to really bend, and the back of the forklift starts coming off the ground. And this project starts to become very, very sketchy. And I'm not the world's biggest safety guy, but I don't like sketchy either. So the plan has been all along to get this thing to a point where the bottom end is assembled and painted, and then drop it in, and then reassemble the rest of it. That makes it probably 900 pounds lighter, but way harder to work on. Climbing up and down here and pulling the cam followers on and off while setting injector timing with all this stuff in the way is going to be a pain. But my shop is small. I don't have room to get like a telehandler or something more heavy duty in here to do it. So I just got to work with what I got. The second reason is because right now this project is so far behind. I'm way backed up into my winter work. I'm not even supposed to be doing this right now. I'm supposed to be doing some other motor rebuilds. So while I handle this one, Ryan has been doing a great job with that one. But this one is also waiting on me. And at some point I need to get to that one. And I have one more like that one that is supposed to be, I was supposed to be working on it in December already, but I'm busy working on this other thing. So I'm just way behind. So the idea is to get that thing assembled, painted, and the bottom end in the tractor. Keep working on that, but in the meantime, I gotta go pick up the other engine like this one, get it on the motor stand, and get it stripped down. Because that block is gonna get sent away for machining. We already know that because of what's wrong with it. That's gonna be a whole different video. I'll explain it all then. But I need to get that thing apart and get it sent away so that by the time I have that tractor done, the other motor will be back and I can start just giving her on that one. So I know it doesn't always look like it from the YouTube screen, but there's a lot going on and I have to try and balance all this stuff and make everybody happy. It's not always the easiest thing. So that's enough yibber yabber. Let's get on this thing. First, I'll pull my lifting eyes off again. These are made by OTC. The reason why this bellow housing needs to come off is because it will interfere a tiny bit with the oil pan. Like, the oil pan can come on and off like this with this on here. But for one, if I get it out of the way, I have a little more room to maneuver the pan and line up all my bolt holes and stuff. But for two, remember this is flat black and we're painting that motor semi-gloss. And as soon as I get the oil pan torqued on here, next step is paint. Oh, I'm gonna drop this thing on my feet. Right on TV. I can't lift this with one hand, it's too heavy. It weighs more than I do, this thing. It's coming, it's coming. Yep. Oh, there it is. Yep. Heavy. Oh, look at that. I took one of the dowels with me. Oh, I'll have to take that out and put it back over there. I don't want that on here. Anywho, There, that's out of the way now. Now what we want to do is take a razor blade, and the gasket sticks past a little bit. So we want to shave that flush. This is where you have to put your sealant. Right on those joins. So we don't want anything sticking up past there that's going to interfere with the fit of that gasket. We want nice and smooth, just like that. Okay, do the same thing on this side. It's going to take that razor, cut this down, boom. And back there too. See that little bit of a tag there? Now it's flush. Same thing here. There, now we got a nice surface. Now what we'll do is clean this up with brake clean so we don't have any oil or anything in there that's going to impede the gasket's ability to seal. And then I'm going to go grab that oil pan and we'll stick him on there. I think I got all my bolts cleaned up for it already. I should just double check that before I grab the pan, I guess, but oh boy, I love this. This is starting to actually come together. Wow, I am absolutely missing 4 pan bolts. I have every oil pan bolt except for the 4 small ones that go here. And that is so frustrating because I don't lose bolts. How are they not with all the other oil pan bolts? I don't get that. I'm going to put the oil pan on, I guess, and hopefully those little guys will turn up somewhere, and if they don't, I'm going to have to order some new ones because those are fine thread and I don't carry those. There's our oil pan gasket. And this one, thankfully, is a one-piece gasket, which is the kind of gasket that I like. Of course, they got to do all this funny stuff so that they can pack these huge gaskets into a small box, right? Just gently get them unfolded here, and this goes this way. Try and get this to lay kind of flat. And at least close to where our bolt holes are supposed to line up. Should see if I have a couple of dowels for this. I'll be right back. Well, I don't have the right dowels, but these will work. Let's kind of stretch this around a little bit here to make sure, well, maybe I have to go here. Make sure this is all going to be kind of close. I should grab one more yet. The reason why I want these things doweled is to hold that gasket 100% properly in place, because I'm going to put some gasket sealer, some schmoo on the oil pan, because if that gasket ever leaks, the only way you can change it is to pull the oil pan off. So when that oil pan comes off, I want the gasket stuck to the oil pan so that I don't have to lay underneath the motor trying to scrape this stuff off the motor. When the oil pan is off and out of there, it's really easy to work with. If you glue the gasket to the oil pan, when the oil pan comes off, the gasket goes with the oil pan. You have very little left on here. Anything that was stuck on there gets ripped off with the pan. That's the theory. Most of the time it works really good. So anyway, let's go put some goo on there. The other reason for having the gasket maker on here, I think we talked about before already, and that was just simply that, I can't seem to balance myself on here. Whoop. And that was simply because this casting is not very good on this pan. It's got a lot of imperfections from previous cleaning and just casting imperfections in general, actually, too. So that will help that gasket seal to the pan to where we don't have leaks involved in that end of it. So now I just have to put all of these bolts in here. then torque them up. And then this guy kind of goes like that. Okay, I'm going to set my Zippy-Doo to Milwaukee mode so that it doesn't have a whole lot of power. And I'm going to tighten these things starting in the middle, kind of crisscrossing my way in a circle. Get them all tight, and then we'll torque them. Alright, now I'm just going to go in a circle, torque them all to 30 foot-pounds. And then I'm going to go around in a circle and torque them all to 40 foot-pounds. Give that gasket a good squish. Okay, I just took them off of there again because after I got that gasket sitting in there nice, I forgot to put some sealant on those flange joins here, and you gotta have that because that oil will absolutely work its way down that little channel that's left if you don't. It's a really important step. Don't skip that one. Okay, now we go to 40 foot-pounds. Perfect. Oil pan is on there, minus these 4 bolts at the back, which I gotta find. Well, of course I found them. I got them a little bit mixed up. I thought these bolts were for a different part. And I was mistaken, so I put them in the wrong spot when I was cleaning them. Book says 15 to 20 foot-pounds, so we're going to go 15 first, and then I'm going to bring them up to 20. Let's see how that goes. Now we're going to put them all up to 20. There we go, guys. Now I will pull the front mount off. And then I'm going to go for lunch. I wanted to leave that mount on there with these bolts pulling forward until I got the pan torqued into that so that that all stays in place with the right pressures on it. Alright, when I come back for lunch, we're going to tape this thing all up and start painting it.